What would you do if, on live television, your voice was stolen before it was ever heard? Maya Carter, a 25-year-old black singer, stood under the blinding studio lights, ready to perform. But the host ripped the mic from her hands, tossed it to the floor, and smirked, "We don't need voices like yours on primetime TV." The crowd gasped. Millions watched. Would this be her end, or the start of something no one could silence? The studio lights blazed, cameras rolling, and millions watching at home. On stage stood Maya Carter, a 25-year-old black singer with a white crop top and a black flared skirt, ready to perform her first note. But before she could sing, the host smirked, yanked the microphone from her hand, and tossed it onto the floor. The sound of it clattering echoed through the hall. "We don't need voices like yours on primetime TV," he sneered. Gasps rippled through the audience. Maya froze, her chest tight, her dignity stripped bare in front of the world. She bent down, hands trembling as she picked up the mic, only to hear whispers around the room. Did she really think she belonged here? One producer muttered, not realizing the cameras were still live. The spotlight burned hotter, isolating her like she was under a cruel interrogation. Every second of silence felt like a lifetime. She glanced at the host, who now stood tall with his arms crossed, smugly confident that he had put her in her place. One tiny tear slipped down her cheek, a detail the camera cruelly magnified. Maya inhaled sharply, steadying her breath. What would you do if this happened to you, humiliated on national television, stripped of your chance before even starting? The host leaned back toward her, voice dripping with mockery. "Why don't you save us the embarrassment and just walk off stage?" His words struck like daggers, each syllable a public execution of her worth. The audience sat in suffocating silence, as if waiting to see if she would crumble. For a moment, she almost did. But then, gripping the mic so tightly her knuckles whitened, Maya's voice broke through the stillness, not in words, but in song. The first note soared above the studio lights, raw and commanding, vibrating through every speaker in America. The host's smirk faltered. He hadn't expected this voice, this fire, from the young woman he had just demeaned. Viewers at home began flooding social media, demanding justice, the hashtag already trending before her chorus reached its peak. By the time she finished, the room erupted in a standing ovation. Even the judges rose, clapping thunderously, their eyes fixed not on the host but on her. The man who had humiliated her moments ago now stood pale, powerless in his own arena. Maya lowered the mic slowly, her gaze piercing through the lens. "This stage isn't yours to give," she declared, voice steady and sharp. "It belongs to those who have the courage to stand on it." The crowd roared louder, drowning the host in his own silence. Cameras zoomed in on her final defiant stare, an image destined to replay across the nation. The message was undeniable: talent and truth outlive prejudice. And as the broadcast cut to black, viewers were left with one lingering thought: what other voices have we silenced without ever hearing them?